Microphone array.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Sound like you're in a...
I like it. Check 1, 2, 3. How's that? Now,
Well, we're live from
we
Mars.
hope that we hope that you're live. Let me check the sound here. As
my head's spinning.
it does kind of sound like we're in a funnel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's okay.
10,
Sarah, thanks for letting us know. Oh, perfect. It is working now. So I don't know why the echo, but
all right,
we'll make it through. And so, Coach, again, now that you've told us all that, nobody heard anything you just said but us and the
That's
auditorium.
normally how it goes. Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's week 11 here, and we are, by the way, we're live here from Clay High School, and we're keeping an eye on the volleyball team, and it is 11 to 10, second set elimination match. We're playing Roane County, so we're down 11 to 10, but are playing a good second match here. It's week 11, and we are ready for a really exciting football game Friday night. So I'm going to ask you one more time now. How's the team feeling? How's it feel? I know it's been a long, grueling season. I know we've had injuries, we've had ups, we've had downs. It's been an exciting season. But this is the point of the year where you really got to, as the kids say, lock in, right?
Right. We preached that message today. You know, it's you're playing for a lot of things. You're playing, of course, against a rival, and we have no sound or what?
No, we do.
Okay.
It just sounds so like.
We got plenty of sound. We got more sound than you.
You guys are killing it.
Yeah.
Okay, you want me to answer this?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So you know, we're trying to get dialed in. Of course, we got all kinds of interruptions with everything going on. You know, it's dark out for one, so you know you got to squeeze everything in the best you can. But you know, it's senior night. You know, those guys who've worked hard all of their career to try to get Dylan's leaving.
I'm going to go work on the computer.
Try to get, you know, as hard as get everything going. You know, they've worked for a long time. And, you know, so it's exciting for them. It's exciting for their parents, you know, as they end their football career at Bradley Field. And so, you know, it's a good time of the year. You know, obviously you'd like to feel like you have more time, you know, to get everything prepared, but you know, it's an exciting thing.
So this is going to be one heck of a ball game. It's always one heck of a game when you're talking about Braxton Club, and it seems like the last few years this game has meant more than most. But
I can't help but think, and now we really sound like we're in a funnel.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know what happened there. See if we can't fix it. What? I don't understand why it's doing that. Does it sound like that in yours?
Oh yeah. You guys got me all out of back here.
All right. We'll go back to the way it was.
all right, yeah, that's not bad.
All right.
We'll deal with it. It is what it is. But anyways, you've got Braxton County, who is, I'm going to pull this up here. So here's the standings as it stands right now. These are unofficial. I know the official one comes out on Tuesday, but I think this is pretty close to what it's going to be. Probably exactly what it's going to be. We're setting at 10. Don't think we're going to be able to get to 8 just based on who plays what, the games that are left. And of course, if the top 8 get a home game. So for fans wondering at home, right now we're setting at 10, which puts us top 16 get in, and there's Braxton at 17 at 4 and 5. And the way this works for fans watching at home is that you get points based on not only when you win a game, but if the team you beat has won a lot of games, then you really get a lot of points. You get bonus points. And so Braxton comes in with one spot behind Buffalo there, but if they beat us, they're also beating a 6-win team. So I imagine that would put them over the top. So they've got everything in the world to play for. Every senior they have is thinking, this is it. What more could you want? And then on our side of things, if we hold steady, we're also beating a 4-win team if we win this game, and that gives us a good shot to stay right about where we're at and get a good matchup. You know, a chance to win a game in the playoffs. So this, Bill, you said it. I like the analogy. Playing like their hair's on fire, and that'll be something to see for sure.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out here and play hard, but I think also it's senior night for us.
Yep.
Yeah, right? So last time
I'm looking. I was watching some film, and I won't say too much about, because I'm not a coach. I just kind of watch from a broadcast perspective. But I look for a couple guys. I look for Cohen Ramsey, though he's not a senior, I think he's in for a big game defensively. I really do. I've been impressed. The more I watch him, he doesn't. Sometimes he doesn't stand out on Friday nights when you're just watching. But when you go back and watch a film, I don't know how you feel, Coach, but he really does some good things defensively. And I think the way that Braxton likes to run outside and do some things, I think he's in for a big game.
Yeah, Cohen is an unsung hero. You know, he
For
doesn't
sure.
get a lot of props. You know, as far as around the state, but you know, we know what he is in our locker room. He's a heck of a tackler. He's always in the correct position. You never have to worry about where Cohen isn't, because you know where he is. You know, he's always where he's supposed to be. Cohen, excellent player. You know, a lot of the times at the end of the night, you look at it and you're thinking, you know, Cohen is one of those players that makes everybody else right by being where he's supposed to be. So,
Well, I just felt like that watching back, and I did some highlights, which we'll hopefully show before the game Friday of the last game. Feels like it's been forever since we played. But he was in on a ton of tackles, just right where he needed to be. And even if he doesn't make the tackle, he's keeping the ball inside and keeping him from getting outside and just doing all the right things. I think he's in for a big game. And I'll tell you one other player I think is going to come in and need to have a big game. I think he will, is senior Christian Brown on that same side. Those two guys keeping that edge.
oh, Christian, you know, Christian is so much to everything we do. Whenever he sacrificed for one. He you know, was a skilled player for the better part of his career, and then we needed some linemen last year, and Christian came in and said, "I'll do it," and you know, he's been everything, but he's made our team complete by the way he plays and what he does. And defensively, he's so fast and he's so quick.
Yeah.
You know, we may move him around a little bit because of how Braxton lines and things like that. So, you know, we're going to do some things that, you know, we don't want to tell on Coach Show, but you know, we're going to do some things that with Christian that maybe hasn't been some things he's done in the past. So.
And a lot of seniors, I don't know if you haven't checked out Facebook for those at home, or maybe you're watching back, go to Facebook and go to the Clay County Panther football page, because we're seeing some really cool things about the seniors. And I love the fact that, and I know we've been trying to share it on our page as well. You can see it on our page, but the different coaches saying things about the seniors and a little personal message. And that is really cool. And that just, when I was reading that, of course I see these kids in the hallways. I have a lot of them in class every day. I'm sure it just adds a little something. And I was amped up over the weekend thinking, man, this is a big game. This is all, and these kids, this is sending them off probably the last game of Bradley Field that they'll play. And so this is big. And it's Braxton. It's Braxton.
I'll tell you what that is. You know, we have a couple guys that help run the Facebook page. You know, and we try to keep as much information out there. You know, that way parents are informed. But as far as the senior night and all of the senior spotlights that we've been doing, Coach Brown has been putting a lot of that information out there. You know, some of that is so that we don't get emotional, because when you're around these kids, you know, 24/7 for 4, 5, 6 years, you know, the thought of not being around them is is heartbreaking enough. And then, so you know, you put something like that out there, that way you don't have to, you know, maybe you know, that way they know how you feel, but also, you know, because you want it to be their night. You don't want it to be our night, or you don't want to ruin their night by, you know, getting emotional on them and you know, shedding a tear every once in a while. You want it to be however they want it to be.
For sure. And then they're playing for more than just, I know when Dylan and you played, we weren't playing for a playoff game, spot week 11. We were playing because it's the last time we might ever put a helmet on.
Right.
These guys are playing for more than that. And that's big. And I'm going to show the standings one more time. Somebody mentioned that maybe Metro News power rankings was a little different. These are, I think, power rankings that Metro News puts out isn't necessarily the playoff standings. These are what you're seeing on your screens based on the formula that's been established. based on wins and who gets what points. And again, this is unofficial until, is it tomorrow that I think tomorrow is when the official ones come out, published by the SSAC, but this is in all likelihood what it's going to
When you
be.
say it's as close as you
Yes.
get without
Some,
accuracy.
some people do the crunching of the numbers themselves, and that's what it's going to be. So there you have it. We're sitting at 10, and right now that would put us against Midland Trail. That'd be an interesting. And then of course you're seeing some teams up there. Rome County sitting at 6. Could be a matchup with Rome County or Midland Trail or Amingo Central. I don't know. It's going to be really fun, and those come out pretty quickly. I think probably Friday night we'll know.
Coach, I gotta ask, sorry.
We'll probably know Friday night before we go to bed, even though it won't be official.
A question for you. Out of those teams, would you rather play a team that you've already seen, probably, or would you rather see maybe somebody that hasn't seen what you put on film out there, maybe Mingo Central or one of those teams, or would you rather go and play Roan or Midland Trail who you played on?
Well, obviously, you would rather play someone you've seen because, you know, the preparation for it and the, you know, knowing what they do and what to expect and what they like to go to. So, you know, for a coach's perspective, you'd rather it be someone you've seen before. You know, either way, we're gonna get together on Saturday and Sunday and you know, get to work at it. And you know, we have a little app that we send the information out to the kids where we send pictures of formations and we send, you know, all kinds of different information. Of course, the kids have to watch huddle.
Yeah.
They have to have so many minutes a week and all of that other stuff. So, you know, I mean, there's really no, you know, who would you rather have? Right now, you're just wanting to be playing the best you can be playing when it comes time for it.
It's going to be a barn burner, as they say. And by the way, keeping an eye on the volleyball team, we're down 24-18 in set 2. So this, unfortunately, 25-18. So that's how it ends for the volleyball team. But the girls played hard, played a good second set, by the way. So we'll talk about volleyball in a little bit, but we want a barn burner. So Friday night, and I will say to fans, be there early. Make sure you have a place to sit. It will be packed.
Might have a little bit of weather coming in.
Bring your coat, an umbrella, and
A bit of rain.
Yes.
You
Feel
don't,
it,
you don't have to bring mud boots anymore.
That's right,
So
yes.
that's a good thing.
Afraid the field might be muddy, but hopefully it'll hold on a little bit.
Right.
I think that favors us, and I was thinking, somebody posted a picture the other day of like 1 year ago versus today,
Right.
and we were out there in the mud and mud. Oh, how nasty that
It
was.
was as cold a year ago as it is today, but it wasn't as muddy. So, you know, we're able to be a little more efficient with what we're doing in practice. So, you know, kids can, you know, wear clothes that, you know, not getting wet and so forth, you know, on the turf and all that. So, you know, it's
As
been
a
exciting.
former player, I can remember like just dreading having to go out there after school on a Tuesday evening and just get soaked and muddy.
Yes.
And
Get in your stretch, you know, where you
yes,
sit down. Yeah, that was miserable.
like that has to, like you would practice better. Like I know it's cold, but you can get used to the cold. But when you're not wet, when you're soaking wet, it's awful. So that's awesome for the kids, and I know it's going to help us. And so it'll be interesting to see. But again, that senior night, I know the senior night festivities, we're going to have Coach K, AD on here in just a little bit. But yeah, James Brady says the Astro Dirt.
The Astro Dirt, absolutely. the Astro Dirt.
We advanced from Astro Dirt. But
Yes.
anyways, the senior festivities will happen beforehand. We'll broadcast all that, so we'll be up in the press box and we'll be able to bring that to you as best of a view as we can. But if you're coming, make sure you're there. You don't want to miss all that. But bring a seat pad and a coat and an umbrella and get ready for a barn burner. I imagine by the end of that game, some people in the crowd will be screaming and yelling, and there'll be some tempers flaring in the crowd, and as it always is. And I remember we were in a situation much like this just a few years ago where we needed a win for playoff positioning and went to Braxton. And
We were just talking about that.
it was just, we just couldn't get anything going and ended up losing that game and traveling to Bluefield, I think, for a playoff game on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, they were. That was the COVID year.
Yeah.
They were not going to let us play. Something.
We all had to go get a COVID test
Had to go
right
get a
before the
COVID
game.
test, yeah, and but they had canceled it and come in and told us
Yeah.
practice was over, season was over, And then, I can't remember how it all played out,
We-
but then we ended up, we took equipment out.
Yeah.
And then we had to get it back out
Well,
and play.
I remember that week prior when we played Braxton, they were not going to let us play unless we all flooded the wellness centers and the community cares and all got COVID tests and brought our COVID tests in, and then yeah, they told us you're not going to be able to play your playoff game.
Yeah.
And then it did happen.
Now that I think about it, not only has the last 10 years been chaotic with everything that, you know, from floods to everything else, but every one of these playoff games almost, you know, we had that with Bluefield.
Yeah.
We had to bring in bleachers one time from Wisconsin, I believe it was, so that we had enough bleachers. We had to move a playoff game because of rain from
That
Friday.
was
to
the
Thursday.
Hoover game.
Oh, the
Yeah,
same one.
It
Okay.
came a monsoon
Yeah.
on Friday. It was like a hurricane was coming, and they were like, "You're not going to be able to play on Friday."
Right, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Then last year, you had no idea who you were gonna play. They switched it a couple times.
Yes, yeah, and last year was where they had the injunctions. One week it was
I love
Philip Barber,
injunctions.
the next week,
I love injunctions. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then, who was it? Philip
Williamstown.
Barber and Williamstown. But now, you know, hopefully this year's normal, whatever normal means, and we'll be able to, you know, get prepared for it. But, you know, I believe the good news is, I think, is this like 4 years in a row maybe, that we've made it? Is that right? Somewhere in that range?
It has to be
3 out
close.
of 4,
I think
4 out of 5?
The last time we didn't make it, I think Logan Vance was still playing, so that's been a while.
So, you know.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, we can be a little more, you know, normal with,
Yeah.
you know, play on a Friday as long as it's, you know, not clear up to Frankfurt or
Yeah.
somewhere we have to play on Saturday.
Well, and I was wrong. I thought it was best of 2 out of 3 volleyball, but they're still playing, so it
I
must
saw
be
them
best
over
3 out of 5. And Coach Case tells us 3 out of 5. So
And we're at Wayne?
at Wayne playing road makes sense. I think the winner does play Wayne,
They do.
so that must be
Oh,
why.
okay.
But yeah, it does at first. Like, yeah, we traveled to Wayne to play Rome. Makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know why it wouldn't, yeah.
Yeah. Man. Well, anyways,
Dylan's got some notes over here. What you got, Dylan?
A little bit of Braxton preparation.
I-
Okay.
we won't ask you to tell anything because we know that we don't want to give any bulletin board material for anybody watching and anything like that. This is going to be a very tough game, no matter what happens. It don't
Right.
matter if one team's winless. It is never going to be an easy game. And
Braxton's a physical team,
Yeah.
you know, and they run multiple formations, so, you know, you have to be
from
what we call alignment and assignment. You know, you have to be aligned to your assignment and know what you're doing. And we've been pretty consistent with that. I mean, every once in a while we get off target with that. So we probably should spend more time on focus on dropping down our penalty rate than alignment and assignment. But you know, alignment and assignment is something we hit all week long. You know, all practice long and aligning to the way that you're supposed to be.
alignment and assignment.
I like that.
Just sounds like a football coach
Yeah.
saying.
Oh,
Alignment
yeah.
and assignment.
Yeah.
Alignment and assignment.
I like it.
Well, we were talking before. You watch film, and we get the opportunity to watch a little bit of Hunter too. And of course, with Braxton, all their games are live streamed anyways. It's like one formation, they're running wide and using their speed, and the next thing you know, they're coming right at you, right up the gut. And
Right.
so you still know.
They go
Who
from
knows what they're gonna do.
empty to double tight, Maryland eye, and then back to empty, and then you know every week that you know most teams every week they throw a wrinkle in that you haven't seen or wrinkle or two, and you know so in practice you just throw something out there and make sure that
Tell
they
the
know
kids
how
that
to
they're,
align.
yes,
You know.
be ready. Yep. And I'm telling you, this is going to be one heck of a game. I can't help but think it's just going to be crazy, and it's going to come down to one play or two here and there who's going to make it. I'm sure Braxton is saying we trust our guys. I trust our guys
Right.
over here in blue and gold, and
Well, we'll be wearing black on Friday.
Oh, I was going to ask about that. So we're wearing the black.
Yeah.
Okay, the senior night black uniforms.
Right. The kids, you know, what we do is the kids get a pick what her color scheme is, and I always tell them, if you have it, and the kids are doing what they're supposed to do, then you can keep it, pick it. But if not, then, and I never have to step in. They normally, have it all ironed out.
Well, and Tony Meadows, I think we all know Tony.
Oh,
She mentioned that her kids go to Braxton, so it never gets any easier to cheer for Braxton when they play Clay. And Tony, thanks for tuning in. And I know the perfect answer. Just cheer for Clay.
right.
It makes perfect sense, right? That's what I don't ever want to make things hard on anybody.
I ran into Joy Proctor, and her boy plays for Roane County. Brody that was injured, and I ran into her a couple months ago, and she was saying the same thing. So whenever your life takes you to different places in the world, it's just part of it. I mean, she should be cheering for her kids, and she should be cheering for us.
Well, hopefully we come out the end of the night on the top of the scoreboard, but it's going to be a heck of a game, and I think it'll be one that people around the state will be looking for, because I don't know how the prognosticators work, if there's a prognosticator on there, but everything I see has us in, so hopefully that's the case. We'll take anything for granted, but it would be much nicer if we could get a win on Friday versus a loss for seeding purposes. But again, Braxton, those seniors are playing for another game. So that, if there was ever any motivation, that'd be it, wouldn't it?
They get to play Clay. They get to play one of their arch rivals, just like we get to play ours, and they get to play for a playoff position. They're going to be motivated. They're already a physical team. They play very hard. We know what's in store. It's just about, it's not even really about who wants it more. It's just about who makes the best plays, who makes the most plays, and all that.
Well, be interesting. So I'm excited. Friday night, again, senior night will start probably at, I'm assuming 7 or so. We'll ask Coach K when he comes on here in just a few minutes. But all that's beforehand, and you've
I
got.
want to see some of the stuff Dylan has written down.
Well, we just got some common opponents there. Braxton lost to South Harrison 23-15. We beat South Harrison 37-16. You can take all this with a grain of salt. It's just something fans might like to hear. They lost 35-0 into the Trail. We lost 41-13. So there's a little commonality there. Both lost to Roane in pretty similar fashion. Braxton lost 46-20. We lost 49-14. So pretty close, pretty even. 34-14. They beat Poca. We beat Poca 23-0. I want to mention something about that here in just a second.
Sure.
19-16, Braxton lost to Buffalo. We beat Braxton 44-14. I'm sure what's happened with Buffalo, but ever since
We beat
it seems
Buffalo,
like they
and
won.
they haven't lost, or something. They maybe lost one game, or haven't
They're going on a
lost.
pretty good streak.
Who's that?
Buffalo.
Oh yeah. They went on a roll. What are they? 6-2,
7-2.
7-2,
Something like that.
They were 0-2 when we beat them, after we beat them, and they won 7 straight. So I don't know what's going on there, but that's.
I do want to say something about the defense. 3 straight shutouts. Poca, Ravenswood, Calhoun. Pretty impressive stuff. Defense has been balling out. I think the defensive line has been very impressive. A lot of those seniors were mentioning. Jaden Morris, I think he's got, 9, 10 sacks right at this point. James Gross is getting in the backfield every game. He's pretty much, we say it all the time, he's become unblockable. Pretty much just a strong kid. Christian coming off the edge. And then we've seen Nick Williams kind of work in there as well. So defense is playing well. I think they're
3 shutouts is hard to do.
Yes.
And you remember too, like last week, for instance, or with Ravens, when you're ahead, you're not always got your first team out there all together. And so even the backups are coming in and playing hard.
Yeah.
Well, that's called alignment and assignment. Whenever the kids know what they're supposed to be doing, and then you can, once you have that down, then you can focus in practice on technique such as tackles and making sure that first guy takes the outside hip, second guy chases the inside. Just different little technique issues and fundamental issues that you get to preach. Otherwise, practice is pretty boring if you can't go out there and focus on a lot of those types of things. Once you get alignment and assignment, you hope that anybody who comes in at least knows what they're doing.
Yep. Good.
I I've been noticing when you talk defense, it seems like when that defensive line plays better, it frees up the linebackers. And Scarborough and Coleman had,
And Nick.
you don't,
Yeah.
well, and Nick is playing everywhere.
Right.
Nick, he just, it doesn't matter where, he can be a nose tackle or linebacker or he's covering somebody out in the fronts.
Well,
It
what
doesn't
Nick-
matter where he's at.
What Nick allows us to do is he allows us to not have to change personnel, because if we're in a 4, Nick can play linebacker. If we have to bump down to a 5 because of certain formations, then he can jump down to defensive line. You know, we played Ravenswood this past week where they were spread, so we were pretty much, he was pretty much at a linebacker position, you know, the whole night long. So this week, you know, with the team that goes from Maryland High to spread to empty, you know, we don't have to change personnel and try to guess what they're going to be in. You know, so
Yeah.
we can just adjust to it that way.
And, I would not want to be the running back that meets Blake Coleman in the whole.
Man, he's tough. He's a
It's that
tough
wrestler
partner.
mentality.
Oh my goodness, I'm glad he doesn't have to tackle me. I'm glad all of them don't have to tackle me, but Blake is.
There are some times when he steps in that hole, I'm like, oh, that looks like it hurt.
Fearless. Blake is a fearless young man. He's a hard-nosed kid. You know, I look for Blake to really do some damage in the state wrestling tournament this year too. So you know, you got an athlete there.
For sure. So a lot of good things going on. A lot of good things. And then we haven't even mentioned the guys that play on the outside, Nichols and Elliott, who are just everywhere. And you got Delworth thrown in there, and you got Kevin Ramsey in there. And we talked about it last broadcast. It's hard to cover all those guys. Like you can say, when we played, I remember it was like, who's their best player? And we're going to focus on him. But really, who you going to play? You just got to play defense out there and hope that people step up, because Cooper's played better. That entire offensive line, we threw an interception against Rowan last week, or not Rowan, against Ravenswood last week. And normally when the offense does an interception, it's the faster guys that are chasing down the guy who's trying to return it. And Jamie Gross got out there, and I mean, absolutely long.
He did.
And I thought, oh my! So all these guys are playing hard. It's just an awesome thing.
Well, if you notice, first guy there took outside hip, and guess where Jamie was? He was on the inside hip. So you convert the offense to defense, but you know, like you said, when you can talk about other players without even bringing up Joel and Jacoby, you know you're set pretty close. Those guys are just, you know, Jacoby was first team All-State, Joel was second team All-State. So, you know, that just makes those types of players make other players better, and you know, so it just works hand in hand with what you're doing.
Good. A lot of good things to talk about. Well, have we missed anything?
Well,
Anything you wanna add?
it's my wife's birthday, so I gotta go.
Happy birthday to Misty.
Yeah,
Yes. Well, Coach, get out of here. We're going to
All
play
right.
a quick ad, and then when we come back, no, we're not going to play any ad. Yeah, we are. We're going to play one ad.
Okay.
Then when we come back, we're going to welcome in Coach K. But it's been fun. Good luck. Have a good week of practice. And we will see you on Friday pre-game for our ritual interview.
Oh,
Walk
yes.
around the field and the whole 9 yards.
What do we call that? Tom Rinaldi and Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
Oh, yes.
We morph into Tom Rinaldi and
That's
Andy
good.
Reid.
That's good.
Yeah, where are you at on that?
I'm working on the computer up top.
Oh, okay, all right.
All right, well, Coach, thanks. Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back. We're going to play a quick commercial. We're going to get Coach K in here. So that's all right. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. And no sound whatsoever. All right, gentlemen, have a good one.
Thanks.
All right. Alan, I kept thinking you were like going to end it, and then you would ask another question. And you'd be like, well, they're a tough team, and looks like, and then I'm like, all right, this is it. And then fix it now.
All right, it's 14-14, by the way.
See you, Coach.
14-14.
Yep. Third
I
set.
don't know who number is what, because I'm muted too, so that's
I'm
3.
2.
But I don't know if I got plugged into the right one. If you were, I'll just unmute all 3 of them when we come back.
Yeah. We got 18 people watching us.
What is it?
18 people watching us live. Just bull crap around here. I love it.
Seat's nice and warm.
My wife said she can still hear us.
Huh?
Misty said she can still hear us.
Oop.
His seat's nice and
right now.
Maybe through the
Check, one,
computer.
2, 3.
It might be coming through like, that's probably why it's doubling, because the computer is, something's messing up with it. It's all right.
All right, we are back, and we're having all kinds of audio problems here, but we'll get it. Give me a second. I think I know what it is, dude.
All right.
Let me see here. A second. I will fix this back here.
Coach, it's good to see you.
Good to be back. It's been a while.
It's been a while, several week hiatus here.
Yeah, you all put probably good 10,000 miles in your vehicles in the last couple
Yeah,
of
That
days.
one, I just tag along. Ride in the back seat and is that where we're going?
Thank you for that.
It's been, going on the road has its pluses and minuses. Obviously, it's difficult to go set up, but we've been to some fun places. And I will say this too, as far as broadcasting goes, this is our first year. We have been treated very well everywhere we've went. We've had 4 road football games, is that right?
So,
And we have been treated like gold everywhere. So we want to first thank all the schools. I don't know, there's probably nobody from any of those schools watching, but we've been treated very well. So it's been a fun time. But it's week 11, a lot of things going on. We've talked a lot of football here, but I want to talk a little bit about a couple things. Winter sports obviously is coming up. By the way, if you're wondering, it's 15-15 in set number 3. We are putting a game together, volleyball-wise, giving Rome everything they can handle in the 3rd set. And we got to win all 3 in a row, right?
we do have to win all 3. I asked the, I asked the AD from Roan if he just wanted to meet over at Gary and play this
Well,
game, and then the winner could go down on
yeah.
Wayne, and other people could
There
go
you
on
go.
this season. But
We,
I don't think the regional would let us do that to begin with.
we could have played about 1 o'clock, yeah, over at Gary.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't open the margin. They could play over here. We don't care. Well, all right. So a lot of things happening, but I want to get to something that maybe folks don't know about. Is the cross country meet, state cross country meet.
So it was this past Saturday, first, and we had a girls team that qualified through the region, the whole girls team, which before I came on, I asked Coach Stricker. Didn't even realize it had been this much, but that was the 4th girls team that qualified for the state tournament altogether.
Okay.
And then we've had 1 boys team do that last year. So that's good when you can get a full team in there, that's for sure. And so our girls team finished 8th overall. And of course, when you finish 8th in the state championship, that means you finished 8th in AA, which is 40-some teams. So that's a pretty good show
Heck yeah.
as far as that goes. We had several girls, a couple of girls ran their personal best as far as that goes. So really good overall showing by them. I've got a couple of things here I want to share with you. So first of all, the conference we are in is the LKC, as everyone knows. And I wrote some of these notes down real quick. 6 of the 9 top finishes in the girls' state were LKC teams.
Ooh.
6 of the 9.
It's 2/3 of them were.
And there's only 10
good
great
math.
teams altogether.
6 out of 9 is 2/3. I'm a math
And
teacher.
then 10, that's 60%. So I learned something somewhere
Yes.
along the way. And then
Yes.
5 of the top 8 boys teams were double A's, or double A
LKC.
from LKC. So I guess the point is we
We might have the best conference.
by far. I mean, it's by far. So we
Yes.
run it. So, it's things, and I know Coach Stricker works on it. I think he's got to get our numbers, got to get some more kids involved. The kids who are in it, they compete and they do very well. So I want to go over some individuals real quick.
Yep, for sure.
Our top finisher was a freshman, which is always good. McKinley Mahan was our top finisher. She finished 40th overall.
Okay.
We had Abigail, who went in last year. I think her and Cheyenne were the 2 girl individuals last year, Cheyenne Taylor. Abigail finished 58th and Cheyenne finished 67th. So that's the second time we've got to run that. Ashley Robbins finished 73rd and Jay Stricker finished 79th. So obviously it's close to 100 runners, so that's not as bad as someone may think or whatever. So, and listen, it's like we talked about cross country. They just run fast from the beginning to the end, and they don't. slow down.
40th, and I don't know, have we ever had anybody finish as high as 40th?
No, I don't believe so. that was the highest, and especially for a freshman to do it. Abigail, I think she finished like 70th, somewhere, don't hold me to that, somewhere in the 70s last year, and she finished 58, a year older. So obviously you see the improvement, and I think they'll continue to improve, from year to year as far as that goes. I think there's a few good runners coming down from the middle school, so I think Coach Stricker will be able to put some strong teams together next year. So I think he was very happy with the results. The girls were happy, and maybe more relieved than anything right after the race.
When they go do their warm-up mile.
Well, I said this, I don't know if you've been to the state tournament, anyway, they end up finishing at the football field, and they run about the last couple hundred meters and you cross the finish line on the football field. Then they have to walk around a building, and some will say it's a 500 or 600 yard walk from where I was standing at, and these kids, they finish, and they walk by you, and it's like they didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Like they have
just ran 3 miles.
yeah, they have a bottle of water, and they're walking by you, and I'm like, oh my gosh, call the ambulance, whatever you needed to do. But it's amazing. I commented, Mr. Fitzwater was up there, and we were saying, like, these kids are just walking by us just like they didn't do anything. So, but anyway, real good showing for the girls. I was proud of them. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ashley Roberts ran her personal best out of that. So, good things there.
It's
And then-
tough when you run your PR at the state meet.
Yeah, and that's not an easy course. I mean, there's a lot of uphill and downhill. So, but this young man right here, I want to talk about him, give him his due. So, Caden Fitzwater was the only boy from our boys cross country team to qualify for the states, and he finished 27.
Wow.
Out of 100.
Wow.
So he finished in the top 27%, right, Mr. Tanner?
Pretty good. Definitely the top third.
But it was 27 out of 100, and of course, that probably is the highest finisher we've ever had in boys. I don't hold me to that, but I know it's close. But I made a little note for myself here because I saw this personally. So he passes me, and again, there's only 300 or 400 meters left, and there are literally 3 guys behind him that are not very far from him. And I'm thinking, well, he could get caught, he could get, now there wasn't a whole lot of people ahead of him, but there were 3 people behind him, and they really were just probably no more than a second behind him, probably at the most. Well, anyway, his finishing time was 19:04, and then the 3 that I saw behind him, I checked afterwards, they ended up 19:10, 19:13, 19:15. So not only did he just turned it on, and when he got up to the track, he decided he didn't want anybody pass him. And it's easy to say when you run, you can turn it on after 3 miles. I don't know how you turn anything on, but he literally was probably running as fast across the finish line as he did there. So really proud of him. I met up with him, shook his hand afterward, and you could tell he was proud. He had something to be proud of, that's for sure.
Absolutely. 27th out of 100 of the best runners in the state of West Virginia.
Absolutely.
In AA. That is very impressive. So good job, Kate. Wow.
Absolutely.
Way to go out on a high note.
Senior?
Yep, senior, yes.
Yeah.
And again, I think, if we could just, again, find some more guys, run, something close to that, be able to get back in the state. And again, that place, Cabell Middle, is a huge place to begin with, and you can't find a parking spot when you get down there. You can't hardly find anywhere to stand. And boy, when those races go on, you've got parents and you've got fans, and they're cheering it on, and it's as intense as anything that it's as intense as it'll be here Friday night for Clay Braxton. It really is, maybe for a little shorter period of time, but it really is intense. They get into it.
Yeah, I was down there one year, it's been a few years ago, and they come up out of the woods of a hill to finish and then hit the track.
Yes.
And you're right, when I was there, to see them come up off that hill and just turn it on, you're like, what? Were you walking down through there? Nope, it's only been 17 minutes. You definitely weren't walking. But, awesome job. We'll try to get Coach Stricker on at some point here before too long and just kind of let him talk. I'm surprised he's still alive. He coached 4 teams. And it may not seem like as much, but when you coach both middle school teams and both high school teams, most places have a girls team and a boys team and a coach for each.
Well, I will say he's very dedicated to it. He enjoys it, and he'll take a little break over here in the winter time, and then he's back at it, track and field in the springtime. So he keeps, he's got a lot of the same kids, not the same kids obviously, but a lot of the same kids, so he keeps them running, and so he wants to build a program. He slowly is, so I appreciate it very much.
Well, a little update here for those watching and wondering. It is 22-21 grown, and we were 22.
22.
So it's very close.
So I'll talk a little bit about world volleyball next.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
they traveled to Poca last Tuesday. They beat Sissonville the first 3 games, 3 sets to 1, and they lost to Poca, which I think you all did the Poca game here at home. And
Yeah.
losing to Poca is nothing to be embarrassed about, that's for sure.
Yes.
Honestly, played them better as the 3 sets went along. Didn't do real well in the first set. Played a little better second set, and then I think it was something 25-18, 25-19 somewhere for the third set. So they played better, and kind of this run kind of game here as we're watching, they played better each set as far as that goes. So probably don't hold me to it, but out there on the floor right now, you're looking at probably 3 freshmen, a couple sophomores, and a junior. So I think, honestly, really, really good times ahead for the volleyball team. I think they had some growing pains this year, but
Yeah.
they're going to make it. They're going to make a turn here in the next year or two. And I think they've got some younger kids coming down. So it's hard to win with freshmen and sophomores. I don't care what sport you're playing at, but they've gotten better as you went along, and look for good things for them.
Well, we were always impressed by the JV team when we'd watch. Impressed by both, but honestly, the JV team, they put on some pretty good performances when we would broadcast.
Well, you could tell. I mean, when you watch JV, they were younger kids, and you could tell they played
together.
Yes,
So,
for
for
sure.
sure.
And it's obvious with Ryan. Looks like
Well, we just went down in defeat in 25-22, the final set there. So good season for the volleyball team.
good season.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's how it ends. Airbud's out there too. So that was the most exciting part. No, I'm just kidding. But so yeah, good finish for the volleyball team. Not as many wins as they would like to have had, obviously, but they played hard, and I think they probably played as hard that last set right there than they did at the start of the year. And it's tough when you don't win a ton of games, but they keep playing, and that's a credit to those kids.
Yes.
Because when you keep playing time after time and giving it everything you got, and it shows, and you get better and better, and they were very competitive. Even if they're not coming out on top, they're very competitive, and that's all you can ask for. And so shout out to those girls because they definitely deserve it, for sure. Well, exciting times coming up because although we're still in like football mode here for at least a couple more weeks, hopefully more, we got a lot coming up in the wintertime.
We do. Let me touch on cheerleading here real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So cheerleading they have 2 competitions they're going to. This Saturday they'll go to Cameron Midland for the regional.
Okay.
I think they're on the floor, if I looked at the schedule correctly, at 5:55 p.m.
Have you ever been to a cheerleading?
Well, I went to the LKC one last year. Yes.
Very,
Very intense. And then the next
different kind of intense, but intense
Yes,
for sure.
the next Thursday, I believe that's the 13th, they will be back at Rome for the LKC Women's Holiday Doing,
Okay.
and they have not got times and schedules out for that. So cheerleading has their 2 main things that they work on as far as competition goes. So this is kind of like tournament time around here. It's that part. Volleyball's had theirs. We've talked a little bit of football. I don't think football drops out if they would happen to lose Friday, but it's almost a playoff game for them too, because they will be seated high enough
Yeah.
where
Yep.
obviously we don't want to travel anyway. We're probably going to have to, but higher seed you finish, the more likely the team you're playing is closer to your ability. And so it's a big game for them. And I'm pretty sure I heard you talking to Coach Nichols, but I'm going to say there's no way that Braxton's not in if they don't win.
Yeah.
So
It would
it's their playoff game as
Yep.
well.
Yep. And there's the standings right there, unofficial, but those are probably what they're going to be. And 10 versus 17. That's going to be interesting.
Well, I saw us against Midland. If we win, I guess I'm talking a week ahead just in case.
Yeah.
I saw us against Midland. I saw us against Rome. I saw us against different people. And I know Coach had talked about whether if he wanted to play someone he had not played or played. I think he was just trying to be politically correct.
Yeah.
and the whole thing, which I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, we didn't want to give any bulletin board material.
We
or
want to do
anything
that.
like
That's
But,
for sure. So
look-
upcoming season.
Yep.
A couple of things. Winter sports, and I know we were talking a little bit earlier, Dylan can believe we're that far
It's
into
quick,
things.
yeah.
And it goes quick.
Thanksgiving is around the corner, which we're all excited about, and that means not for me anymore, but I remember basketball practices happening over Thanksgiving.
Listen, there was a college basketball game this morning on at 8 a.m. on YouTube. Winthrop played Queens, New
I
York.
was wanting to watch Winthrop
So
play,
it's,
especially at 8.
Basketball
a.m.
season is upon us. It's crazy to think about.
Yes.
So high school season start, the girls start on November the 10th. So that is,
November
week, right?
10th. 1 week from today.
and boys will start 2 weeks from today on the 17th, and wrestling starts on the 17th as well. So we're
Well,
ready.
folks, don't forget, we will bring you basketball games, and as good as broadcasters as we are for football, I don't like to talk too much about ourselves, but we're pretty good. I think people would say we're pretty good. And people enjoyed Allendale.
Heard a lot of compliments.
Wait till you hear our basketball abilities. We're just getting started. We're just getting warmed
I
up.
think we'll do okay.
Yes.
So you all have a very good knowledge of the game of basketball, and I'm pretty sure you received that in the ninth grade.
Yeah, that is what I
That's
was.
my guess. Now, that might be 100%
I've went
not
home
true, but
It is. I've wrote all the things down we learned, and I'm going to bring it. We're going to bring it to the games, and you're not going to want to. We want you to come to the games, but we also want you to watch the broadcast too. So we've even heard that some people just tune into the audio of our broadcast while the game's going on. And they're there. That's fine too.
Yep.
However you want to do it, but we can't wait. But yeah, so basketball's coming up. What else happens in the world? Wrestling.
we have wrestling. It starts on the 17th as well.
The Bob Stoker will be pretty soon.
Bob Stover is December the 20th, the Saturday before Christmas.
I-
Right? You guys are
Yeah, and
your
I don't
wrestling lingo ready for
grab
that?
them
Take
and
down, take down.
take down pin and cowboy.
Cowboy.
I know there's a move called the cowboy, and I've told my students if they don't do their homework on cowboy, it don't seem to phase them any. So I don't know what that is, but
For anybody who hasn't been at the Bob Stover wrestling, and I don't attend a whole lot of wrestling events, I always attend that and try to get to one on the road. The gym is packed. It goes from, you could have the air conditioning on 50, it would be 110, and an hour or
Yes.
two later, it gets that out. But the wrestling is really good. I know that we have, and obviously I can't even name, I wouldn't even start to name, but we have a lot of volunteers that spend their Saturday they set the mats up on Friday and do all the stuff on Saturday. And we're very appreciative of that. A lot of people who are, have been in wrestling for a long time, they might be doing the Pee Wee program working there. So it goes, and I don't hear, knock on wood, I don't hear any complaints about the Bob Stover, how it's run. It's always on time, and it's everything like that.
I'm gonna say this too to fans because it's been a while. Some people maybe used to go to wrestling tournaments and haven't been for a while. It's a little different than what maybe it used to be. It used to be just an open tournament, right, where you could come in and at any point you might see clay wrestling where you might not. Now these are duels.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
So when you come, and we want you to come and watch the team, you're going to be able to follow clay to a mat and watch every one of their kids wrestle in order.
Start from the lightest weight. And then
Yes,
get to
you're
the
not
heaviest.
waiting around watching kids who are not from clay wrestle. So that's really cool. And if you can't come, tune in and watch us, and we will bring you as best we can some action. Maybe we can get Coach Collins in to give us some expertise. He knows a little bit about it. I think he won some kind of award for Coach of the Year, maybe in West Virginia. At one point, probably. I think so.
Well, that's interesting because I remember we used to wrestle when we were real small at Abbeville. Remember
Yes.
we go to those tournaments
Yes.
and
Yes.
see, I still thought it was like that. You hear over the intercom, Jamie Johnson, Oak Hill,
Yes.
and you never knew when you were going to wrestle. You were just surprised. So that's good. I'm
Yes,
glad
so
you
when
can kind of just follow.
And that's the way most of these tournaments are, from what I understand, is you come and you watch that team wrestle against another
Do
team.
we have any video of that wrestling?
Oh,
Well, I'll tell you this.
Coach Wally.
Wally Schwartz was yeah.
Coach
Well,
Wally
boy,
might have.
Was there some things I would like to see, and that
Hey,
might be one.
Down there in that gym, we wrestle down here all the time. I've got every ceiling tile memorized because I was on my back so many times.
The last match I had, the rumor was that it was a girl that beat me, but I don't know if that's true or not. Some say it was. I think it was just, maybe they had long hair or something. I think in fact that person won the state championship
That's it. I remember, yeah.
when they got to high
Yeah,
school,
yeah.
and it was a very close match.
I failed to say this, I'm glad you mentioned it, but, I don't know for sure, but I think we are going to have a couple of female wrestlers.
Ooh, now that, I am excited
And I
about
believe,
that.
female wrestling is getting bigger, and I'm sure it's maybe bigger in other states, not for sure. but they have their own state tournament at the same time the boys have.
Well-
And I think our girls, they did say they're gonna wrestle, and if they do, I think they're just gonna go to female, events as far as that goes, but then I think, their plan is to make it to state tournament, which I think is
Nice.
great.
I was at I usually try to go to the state tournament for wrestling. It's really fun to watch. And last year, the way they had it set up, we had to set on the end, and I gotta be honest, I was like, the double A is between me and the girls, and I was like, this kind of stinks. And I have to watch over top of a match. I found myself more interested in the girls' matches than any. And I'm telling you right now that if you're a fan of just sports and competition, you will want to see that, because I think a girl was undefeated and lost the title match in literally the last seconds of the match, and it's tons of action. I know it's frustrating sometimes when you watch the kids wrestle and it's like a stalemate, like nobody can move. These girls are quick and they move a lot, and it's back and forth, and it's like I wasn't sure at some points who is winning. I'm not really sure who has the best position here. And so, yeah, and
Good.
I don't know who our girls are, but the names I've been hearing, I don't want to throw any names out there, but it's tough.
Potential there.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, some
Sure.
athletes,
That's
for
awesome.
sure. So, yeah, that's coming up. And I guess Coach McDonough coaches that too, just the same as he does the boys. And they have all female tournaments. Is that
Yes.
right?
Okay.
Interesting.
I like it.
And I'm telling you, that should be fun. So all that's coming up this winter. So lots of cool things happening. Is there anything else that we're missing here? I know before we get
Spelling bee.
going.
Spelling bee coming up this Thursday.
We
fellas.
almost missed it. Yes, and Coach,
Thursday morning.
you're not in a hurry, are you?
Mm.
You're not in a hurry, are you? You can hang out for another few minutes. We are going to be live for the spelling bee Thursday morning, and me and Dylan have been excited for this for a long time. And as a great speller, I'm sure as you are like us,
You find out.
you'll be able to.
Great word. See if
Well,
Coach-
we can
Well,
quiz
let's
you a
not
little
go
bit.
6th grade, let's go 4th.
Let's show you here. So this is the unofficial roster. We'll start with the Clay Elementary Panthers, and there you see you got 10 spellers and an alternate. Now, I assume it'll just be the 10 and then the alternate in case something happens. Adrian Davis, Vance Hamrick, Reagan King, Easton Leftwich, Charlotte Bell, Lindsay Nichols, Avery Nottingham, Serenity, Polly, Stormy, Ramsey, Bailey Williams are the 10 spellers for Clay Elementary, and then Hemi Van Meter is the alternate there. And then for the Big Otter Braves, you have the following: Cheyenne Brown, Elena Brown, Kinsley Duffield, Harper Faulkner, Michael Gill, Cash Kincaid, Trip Sears, Adeline Boggs, Lainey Go, Catherine Hanshaw are the 10 spellers, and then Gannon Cummings, who's in 3rd grade, by the way.
Mhm.
I don't know Gannon, but apparently he's a good speller because it's all 4th and 5th other than that one. So Gannon Cummings, and I
Sound-
put Cummings. but it's
Sounds like when he says Big Otter Braves, you might be a little partial to that,
Nah.
It's a good school. It is a good school.
It is a good school.
Very good school. Good
Yes.
teachers over there, I hear.
So we're going to try to bring you that, and we have all the bells and whistles set up
You
for
got,
it.
you got the word ready. Now, Coach, keep your eyes off the screen because we're gonna put it up there. All right.
Oh, you're gonna put it on the screen?
And you're going to try to spell it.
I'll
Let
give
me
that to
see.
you just so you have it. It should be right in the middle. Coach, your word is peninsula. Would you like to use it? Have it used in the
Peninsula,
definition?
could I have that in the definition?
Would you like the definition of peninsula? Peninsula is on the 4th grade spelling list, and I believe it is a body of land, a land body that has 3 pieces of water around it. So it's not
Well,
quite an island, so it's
now-
not surrounded.
Notice on the top left of your screen we have peninsula spelled in
All right, so,
language of origin, English.
I believe it is English. Yes.
peninsula, I can't even say it.
Well, can I hear that again? Just to make sure?
Peninsula.
Peninsula.
All right.
Yeah.
Peninsula.
Ding.
You missed an N. You missed an N. PENINSULA.
I will,
Sorry, Coach.
that's okay. You dug through there and tried to find me a tricky. I will say this.
That was a 7th round word. We've never
That
got
was
that.
probably the first round. I will say this. My son Grant, who was in the spelling bee, obviously I watched him through sports and everything growing up. I was probably never more nervous watching him at the spelling bee
Oh,
right
yeah.
on the stage than I was in any event that he ever competed in. So
You're just there by yourself, and
you are.
You can't
everybody's
write
watching.
it down.
No.
You can't even write it down. Like it's just you're just there. I
Do you remember the word you got out on?
barefoot. I
Barefoot.
spelled it as a bear's foot instead of
wrong
no
with
shoe.
Mine was Rosie.
I know that you won't believe this, but I remember mine way back in the day. My word was anonymous. And I
Okay,
spelled
that's a
it with
little-
an I instead of a Y.
Okay,
That's it.
that I can see you missing anonymous, but it's barefoot.
Well,
So at that point, I decided maybe I should teach math. That would not be barefoot.
But we're excited for it for sure. It's gonna be a good time. What it starts at 9.
9 a.m. We'll be live at about 8:45-ish, and we'll definitely be live before it starts. And we are going to bring you this spelling bee. And all the kids who we showed you there do a great job. And they've been practicing. And both schools have been practicing. It's a competition between schools. The schools going to bring home the trophy. And there's a big traveling trophy, right?
I believe so, yes.
I saw some names of kids I had in class now.
Competition is good.
I saw Brighton Champ's name. Yeah, Brighton Champ. Shout out to Brighton. He's in my class. You might not realize it, but Brighton's a smart player. He is the spelling bee champ. We talked about it today. in class. So,
Let me comment on one thing.
yes, you can.
The athletic director at Birmingham, who is up there watching some stuff, is Toby Field.
We met him too.
We talked about him a lot.
Yeah.
He was very helpful in the game. Very helpful. Like anything, when you get into something, you go to meetings, you see the same people, you talk, and you have the same problems, but you know, they have the same problems. Anyway, I talked to him today, he sent me an answer back and said that he'd been in the hospital, so, I just want to say, we look through we're competitive against each other.
Yeah.
So we hope to feel better as far as it goes, what's going on, just feel about this goes.
We don't know him real well, but we did kind of get to meet him over just a little bit. So we definitely hope he's okay as well. So wishing you well. I'm sure, unless he's just too sick to watch, I'm sure he's probably not watching his local team.
I would say
watching the Clay County Coaches Show.
I'm sure he felt this was way more important.
Yes.
Especially once we got the spelling bee, he probably said, let's just stick around here for a
Yes.
little bit longer. See what I said.
All right. Well, I appreciate Coach. Appreciate you coming in. It's getting 7 o'clock now. It's been dark for 6 hours since noon. It's been dark. But anyways, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget. So we got a lot of things coming up. Of course, with basketball stuff, we'll keep you updated. We'll hopefully maybe try to have a show with Coach Fitzwater, Coach Holcomb, and Coach McDonough to kind of get you set for to see what's coming up this winter.
Come out Friday night, good game, it's going to be a good game. Obviously, it's a rivalry.
I'm predicting the best finish of the year. So I predict the best, most action we're going to see in the football field. I predict it's going to be back and forth. It's not going to be decided until the clock hits 0. Pretty double up.
It's pretty emotional win, you would say, against Pike View. So they've been coming in here ready to score us for it.
Both teams had an off week, so everything healthy for the most part. So we just see who the best team is. Obviously, if you can't, watch out and do it. Get out here and watch it and cheer.
Yes.
Think you'll see a good one.
Yep. And that'll be the finish. And then afterwards, we'll have our playoff pairings pretty quickly after. We'll get you set for playoffs. And that's
Excited, I like it.
well, folks, we appreciate it again. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks to Clay County Schools, as always. That is our main sponsor. Thanks to WVRC. Drew, I know he's out broadcasting, but he was over updating stuff for us today. Thanks to Swolby. We're getting things tuned up for an exciting finish to fall sports. And it's been fun. Anything else, Dick?
That's all I got.
All right, for watching. Yep. Don't forget, Thursday, 9 a.m. We'll be live at 8:25 spelling bee right here in the auditorium. Clay County kids are excited, so make sure you tune in